First off, the word I've been using, you guys heard me use the last few months, is finish, and proud of the way we finished. There's a lot of things that could be fixed in that game, and we sure know it. But as I sit here now, and I'm going to go in reverse order, we're 1-0 in conference and 3-0, and found a way to win tonight. And that's something that we weren't able to do last year, is find ways to win games and finish. So proud of the guys' effort. Tremendous crowd. I mean, the student section, once again, phenomenal. And so that can't be understated how great the students were. Proud of that and all the fans that showed up. So tremendous atmosphere. Great night to showcase our city, our team, and our program on national television, and glad we came out with a win. A lot of things to be cleaned up. The tackling, especially in the first half, were not good enough. And it's one of those things you sit there and look at. The 2 previous weeks, very clean in our tackling. But tonight was not what we needed to be and not our standard. Found a way to clean it up a little bit in the second half, and I think a lot of that's with the triple option because it is difficult. Credit to Navy. They're fantastic in what they do. They're really good at it. We saw things defensively that we had never seen from them before. So much, I don't know if you guys noticed, they put their tackle over constantly. We'd seen a little bit of that on film. They told us, you heard them talk about, they prepared the entire bye week, which they had when they came back from Dublin, for us. And they certainly were prepared, and they did a nice job. We did not tackle the way we needed to in the first half. Did a nice job rallying to it in the second and being where we needed to be. I think that's part of option football. You're either going to stop them or you're not. Obviously, they had the explosive play, and if one guy doesn't do their job out of the 11, that's why you notice the large touchdowns. Offensively, still some self-inflicted wounds, some things. They did a nice job. Credit to Blake Watson for finding a way to break tackles and doing some great things. He'll be the first to admit he knew right when that fumble on the 6-inch line going in the end zone, that would be the first thing I'd bring up. But proud of his effort. He did a fantastic job with that. Seth found a way. But, you turn the ball over the last 2 possessions and still find a way to win a conference game like that. Man, we're very fortunate, but it's a win, and quite proud of the guys. And I used the word perseverance and finish with them in the locker room just a few moments ago. And that's what we're going to continue to need. We're going to continue to need grit and the grind mentality and find ways to improve. Short week games are hard, but our guys came out. Credit to Navy. And a military appreciation game, an absolute honor to be able to represent our military tonight, to see our young men run out with the flags and to play a service academy like the Naval Academy. So much credit to those men and women at that academy and what they mean to our country and what they will continue to mean. So it's an absolute privilege to be able to represent our military tonight, and so much credit to them. I wish them safe travels in the rest of their endeavors. But man, look, now I'll smile and say, hey, we're 1-0 in conference, and we got to find a way to continue to get better because we're going to have a challenge when we go to St. Louis and play an SEC opponent in Mizzou.
In the tackling, you talked about it in the first half. It seemed like they improved in the second half. Is that just an individual thing, or was that maybe understanding the scheme that they were running?
Yeah, Jonah, a combination, right? I think, anytime you see that triple, they knew what they were doing. That's the first time in my 8 years of playing Navy. Now, someone's going to look this up and tell me I'm wrong, but thank goodness I'm off social media, that they elected to receive the opening kickoff. And that's unusual for a Navy football team. So I was like, all right, something's up. There's going to be some new stuff. They rotated different quarterbacks, as you guys saw, especially in the second half. It's a combination, right? I mean, it's a different type of tackle. You're not used to, we haven't practiced a fullback dive tackle as much as we probably needed to, right? I mean, in weeks leading up, sure, but like Arkansas State didn't run the fullback dive, and then all of a sudden it's a read key and getting out on the option and cracker replacing on certain things. So different types of schemes that we have to improve upon. But I don't assume we're going to play another triple option team. Look, take a deep breath, calm down, find a way to stop. And credit to the defensive staff. They did a nice job of making adjustments at halftime. That's what they do. They did a fantastic job with that. The defensive guys calmed down. And look, every individual on defense said, I could have played better. I could have done this. But they found a way, and that's what I was so pleased with.
Coach, that last play, the last spot, we saw you going back and forth with the players. I think one of your guys was like, Coach, they're short. What was the communication like on that last play when you got the review and got the
So 2 things went through my mind. One, I'm not legally supposed to go down to the 10-yard line, but we're allowed to in case we want a timeout. So I had a pretty good view of what was going on, and I was pretty darn confident they were short. Now, I've been told I'm wrong by referees most of my career. Devin, they told us, hey, no, he got it. And so my immediate thing was, okay, we have to be ready because now they're measuring. And when's the last time you guys saw? I don't think we've had a single time in the last 3 games that the refs have measured a first down questionable thing, right? I mean, they just don't do it in college football as much. And so I said, at least measure it, which give me a chance to, okay, let's see if we need to review this thing. Then I was yelling at them to review it. All the while, hey, get ready because it's going to be 1st and 9 at the 9 with, I think, 9 seconds left or 10 seconds left. So let's get a defense play call. They got no timeout, so all those things are going through my mind. I was going to give our defense as much a chance to make sure they were in the right spot. Had they had to go out there and understand that the clock would stop, they probably would have won a quick fade play or spiked it. My guess is they had already had a play lined up for their offense to go out there and probably had 3 more shots at the end zone. So all that going through my mind, it seems like a lot. But I said, and I told the side official, I said, listen, if they don't review this, I'm going to burn a timeout. And they said, well, we don't want you to burn a timeout. I said, then review it. And they said, well, they always do. And so I said, okay, I'm going to burn a timeout. And they said, okay, we'll go. And so they went to the video monitor, thank goodness, and reviewed it. I was kind of looking through it. I'm probably going to get a reprimand letter from the deal. Looking at the camera, and he was definitely short. I just didn't want to celebrate it, and thank goodness he was short, and the defense found a way. However it looks, off the 9-yard line, 10-yard line, they found a way, and a little bit of relief, but just found a way to finish the game.
Ryan, how do you balance? Obviously, you said you guys finished, the defense came up with the play they needed at the critical time, but at the same time, the offense had a chance to finish a couple times, and they did not. So how do you balance that?
Absolutely. I mean, I've told you guys all the time, right? That's going to be different ebbs and flows of football games. Going into, and anytime you play a service academy, if you turn the ball over, it's going to be a long haul, and it's hard. And it's amazing that our 2 turnovers came on the last 2 possessions. And like I told Blake, man, I'm so proud of him. What a tremendous effort tonight. But he knows, he's like in his brain, tonight when he's going to lay his head down and sleep with a smile on his face, he's going to sit there and say, man, had I just, and numerous things could have happened. Maybe I probably should have called a better play to put them in our offense in a better situation. But fumbling on the 6-inch line makes your heart sink. And then at the end, that 3rd down call, that's not necessarily on the quarterback. We got to find a way. It was almost as good as a punt. I don't know. But look, turnovers I'm not making excuses for. We got to find ways to clean that up. But look, the defense came, and they got the stop. And that's all that matters. And it's funny because a couple people said if that was last year, it would have been a different story because maybe now we're finding ways to handle it and just pleased the way it ended up. But, yeah, right, I'd love to put the game away and never have to put the defense back on the field, but we didn't do that, and we'll learn from it and grow.
What was said after some of those turnovers, especially the fumble? You said kind of what the mood was, but was anything said at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to our guys, and if anybody knows me, and I actually joked around with our team, not joked around, there's no joke. I told them I got own the ball tattooed on my arm going into this game. I don't. I know Devin's going to say, can you show us? But it's so critical. And we did a study of all the Navy opponents. I think I mentioned this to you guys. Like, they beat Central Florida the last 2 years because Central Florida turned the ball over. And, just tell Blake, hey, I'm not going to yell and scream. Own the ball the next time you get, because we're going to go back out there and you have to find a way to finish this thing. And he absolutely, and we can coach our guys hard, and there's a time and a place to really get on them. But man, during game day, very rarely do you guys ever see me lose my mind on one of our players unless they do something foolish. And we can coach Blake really hard during the week, and then during game, he knows. I mean, he'll be the first to tell you, tremendous game by number 4. But he'll tell you, that's one of those things we got cleaned up, and he knows it. And I told him it wouldn't even been an issue had he just, if he was as fast as me, and got in the end zone on that score. But oh well.
You have a pretty good memory. Where does this rank among the craziest games you've coached here?
It's up there. The endings to these games, they're the ones that are going to shorten years off my life. But it's, look, I told you guys going into this year feels different. This year feels special. This year is going to hold on its own accord. One game will never define us, right? Like, had we lost a game, I would have told one game is not going to define us. We've got a whole season ahead of us, and they know that, right? Like, I hope we have 11 more games. So this is going to be one. I'm going to think about this one probably all the way through tomorrow. And I'll be on the road recruiting, and people are going to talk about it. But it's one I'm ready to quickly put behind me and then move on and focus on Mizzou.
Blake's performance, obviously, we talked about the fumble, but both those big runs, the first one especially, it seemed like that kind of broke the game.
Absolutely.
Just talk about his performance.
Blake's vision, I've been around a lot of good running backs. We've had, 5 there in the NFL. We've been fortunate to be around some of the best ever doing it in the NFL. Blake has some of the best vision of any running back I've ever been around. His vision is fantastic. And then what I appreciate about Blake is his feet kept turning over. He kept, even if we didn't block perfectly, he kept running his legs, right? And then he had great balance. And I was just so proud of that because that's hard to do. It's not a bag drill that we're teaching him. It's tremendous effort by him. And I guarantee in his brain, finish. And he kept running his feet and then found a way to finish the run and then break one. So, look, credit to the offense line. The tight end had a nice block on one of his long runs. The guys up front did a good job. The receivers blocking downfield. But, man, he did a tremendous job. And we have high expectations. I think he also had 6 catches as well tonight. So that kind of shows where we're going to continue to use our backs in a multitude.
What's the big,
Coach, 3rd and 4th, end of the game, Josh Ellison comes up with a big sack, the only one of the night. Talk about what he's brought to the table since coming here to Memphis.
Yeah, Josh has been a tremendous asset. In fact, coming off field, ESPN asked me the last question, and I used it as a recruiting pitch that, man, some of these transfers are coming here and had success, and it's true. Josh came here and had the chance to start and has done a really nice job. Him and then the rest of those guys, right? And I'll be the first to say this: the defense runs through Jalen Allen, and Jalen's energy is infectious. His leadership, his care, it's so tremendous. And guess what? I've seen Josh grow by being around Jalen Allen. And you'll say, well, isn't Josh a 5th-year senior? But, man, I just think that's what's so fun about that group on defense. They feed off each other. And it sounds corny, guys. We talked about love before the game, and I talked about love after. They all love each other. And it's so much fun to be around guys that give a damn about each other, that care. And Josh has filled right into that mix, like, okay, I'm a Memphis Tiger. He doesn't even talk about this previous place. He bleeds blue. He's so happy to be here. Loves this university, loves the city, and it's so much fun watching him get in that mix with those guys.
You mentioned that someone brought up to you, like, hey, maybe last year this doesn't go our way because we didn't get any breaks last year. What can getting a good break, if you will, do for a team, moving forward?
Yeah, let me adjust that horseshoe I'm sitting on. But, no, it's part of it, right? Like, and I've
You also got the fumble was ultimately pretty fluky to fumble on the 6-yard line like that, so.
6-inch.
Yeah, 6-inch.
Yeah.
Maybe karma a little bit.
Yeah.
What can that do for a team?
Oh, I think it's we always tell our guys that momentum, 1, shouldn't affect those teams that are steadfast and strong-minded. But 2, we found a way to win a game. And so teams every year, guess what? I can't wait to watch college football this Saturday, even though I'll be watching Mizzou. But, there'll be 10 teams that are going to find ways to lose games. And I think that gives our guys confidence. Are we going to be out of our mind and think that we're not going to be arrogant. In fact, a lot of these guys are going to go back and say, Coach, what else can we do? And that's what's so great about this. So it's given them confidence that we can find ways to win games. It's going to show up. I don't know if it's going to show up next Saturday or in November, but it's going to show back up. And these guys are going to say, okay, hey, we can find a way. We can find a way. In fact, even when they were driving, I got on the headset and told the offense, okay, hey, minute 2 timeouts. It's going to be like a 2-minute drive on a Wednesday practice. Here we go. Yeah, and so just finding ways. But I think it gives our guys great confidence. They believe. They've always believed. But I heard someone say this: when you win games, it makes the believing a little bit easier, and the buy-in. And the buy-in's been there, but it's going to be a little bit stronger day in and day out. And I'm just so proud of it, and it just shows, the growth of the team and where we've come.
What do you think of Rock's performance tonight, and was he a future part of the game plan?
Man, Rock did a great job. How about that fade ball catch? He was excited. Show big body catch up there. He had a tremendous night. Some really, really nice catches all night long, and showed what he was capable of. And look, we knew that this Navy defense, they were one of the best against the run. Obviously, we broke some runs, but normally you get a chance to catch some of the over-the-top stuff like we had in years past. They're playing pretty far off, and so some of that intermediate stuff, but he was able to find ways to get, and he's such a big-body guy. So tremendous effort by Rock tonight, and certainly deserving a lot of credit.
as you go into playing Missouri next week, taking from this game, what's the one thing, the top thing that you kind of think needs to be improved before that game?
Well, I just can't say one, right? You already know, tackling has to be we'll get it cleaned up. And every defense player, they're happy for the win. They'll immediately say, we got to clean up and tackle better and be more assignment sound, no matter who we're playing. And then, right, just finding ways, because what's happened, and as media, it's hard for me to explain. We're going to see different things from different defenses, and we've got to find ways to execute at a higher level and be more consistent as an offense. Because we have the playmakers. If we can be more consistent as an offense, we have a chance to make some noise.
Coach, you said Dez has been around the program a lot. He was an honorary captain. He lost a coin toss. It's all good. But whose idea was that for him to be the captain today? And was he I guess not feeling much?
Yeah, look, I met Dez when he first got to town at the St. Jude's charity deal function, and he actually, I give the young man a lot of credit, because when he came to town, he didn't know anybody, and he actually approached me and introduced himself. And anybody that's ever been around Desmond Bain knows what a gentleman, what a class act, a tremendous young man. And he actually said, "Hey, Coach, I'm new to town. And for him, a lot of people want his attention, and he knows. And the football coach at Memphis probably is going to steer me straight and be just a person to talk to in town. And so him and I developed a relationship. He's been by the program. He's watched our guys work out in the summer. He's come and hung out. He's just been, and all he wants to do is just be around. He's sat in my suite with my parents before. I think my dad and Dez are like buddies. I don't know. It's a great thing. But also, Dez is the type of person you want around your guys, right? And so when he came to the city, he's the same age of a lot of our juniors and seniors. And a guy that's done it the right way. And I think about Desmond Bain's success here. He may not, he's a national name. Dez is a superstar. But he earned what he earned through hard work and perseverance and being consistent. And that's something I preach to these guys every single day. So, man, I couldn't ask for a better guy to be around our guys. And he reached out to me the other morning, and we've got a relationship. And what I give him credit for, and this is not to pat myself, he said, "Hey, thanks for being one of the first people to believe in me in this city and care about me." And I'm sure a lot of fans will say, "Well, I believe in it. I get it." But we've nothing wanted other than a mutual friendship and respect for one another. And it's great to have him here, to want to be around our guys and to do the coin toss. It was I've got to teach him how to flip the coin a little bit better. But look, he's always welcome, and he's been to a lot of our games, and he cares about these young men, I'm sure. I haven't checked my cell phone, but I know he's going to be proud of our unit that was out there and pleased with that relationship.
Obviously, emotions were running really high, especially at the end. I know the teams had a little bit of words back and forth there at the end. Would you say that this game was definitely charged, throughout?
Oh, yeah. I think, you play a game like this and you want your guys, and it's so funny because in my brain I'm sitting there saying, I want our guys to run out with their hair on fire. But this is also a game that the defense has to play under control. They have to be assignment sound. They have to be great with their eyes and the communication. And in offense, we have to go out there and execute versus all this movement, all this different things. So I was in my brain, I was like, okay, how do we get our guys to go out there and play with enthusiasm, but under control? And I think the whole game we saw some chippiness. And I think that's what happens when you get to, it's a rivalry and it's a conference game. And man, there's some tough SOBs over there at Navy. Full credit to them. They're wonderful young men, and they're going to serve our country. But man, those guys at Navy are tough. But our guys are also tough. And so I think part of it is just say, we don't back down from anybody. Nothing but respect for the Naval Academy and them. Coach Newberry and I talked after. I think that's part of it. I think most of our guys were just wishing them the best of luck and safe travels home.
I saw you go over and say, you were shaking hands with most of the guys, which is great, but you went over and said, some words to Jacob, defensive end. Do you know him from prior, or was that just spur of the moment thing?
Coaching against him,
Yeah.
he's a damn warrior. He is a warrior, and he's one of those. We talked about it this week on defense, right? When you respect an opponent, you know how you show them respect. You prepare, right? You prepare for that opponent. When you respect the people you go against, you prepare. And we know that everybody talks about how hard Navy works and how prepared they are. Well, we work hard and we're prepared too, but we have so much respect for them. And that young man, if you watch his film over the years, he plays so hard. And so a tremendous amount of respect for the academy, and he's just one of their many warriors. And look, I root for them. Diego Fago, the linebacker for all those years, number 54, him and I still keep in touch of all weird things. And we had some tough battles. He's a heck of a player, but it's just that respect you have. And so much respect for our military and the academy. So that's part of it. I wish all those guys nothing but the best.